The West Indies, can they make a series out of it after losing the ODI series 3-0? That is the big question. We are building up to that game to be played at the Eden Gardens. I'm Nikhil Naz. With me, as always, is Rahul Rawat. What has happened to the West Indies? Was it just a one-off? So forget one-day series. Let's not mix format. Let's look at T20 because that's their format. What do you think has happened to them? Can they bounce back?
They can. They can. The Indian spinners were good, and West Indies, their batting, unfortunately, for them at least, they didn't come good against the Indian spinners. And
Yeah.
to be very honest, I thought mm, uh, India got the better conditions in the first T20 international. Although I'm not saying that had it been India batting first, India would have lost. But I thought the nature of that wicket in the first T20. India got a better deal.
Prashant says, "How are you guys? We are tip top, and just like the Indian cricket team, if I can say, because they are in a great condition as well." Just on the side, before we get into the thing, the same Indian team lost the Test series to South Africa, and that same South African team now getting hammered by New Zealand. What is
Right.
happening?
And
So was
in
Indian
in
team
New
Mazar
Zealand, South Africa in New
in New
Zealand,
Zealand?
in
Yes,
New Zealand.
yes. So was it just a case of, team looking better at home, or was there that big a gap between teams, or what is the thing?
Maybe after the highs of that India's tour of South Africa, maybe they got a little complacent. But New Zealand is always a dangerous side. But what happened in New Zealand for South Africa? They were bowled out for 79.
Yes,
For 79. So that, of course,
Matt Henry on fire.
yes, that was not expected at all. Whatever the conditions may be.
Okay, Anish says, just one thing to say, please don't discuss anything on, whenever discussed, he gets out early. So I've not taken the name because he doesn't want us to discuss. Okay, Anish, we are listening to
No
you.
incoming and no loading.
No loading, no incoming, not even taking the name. You're happy, Anish? If our not talking helps, we are going to contribute. 95 all out, yes, correction.
95. Yes, sorry.
Suraj Sharma says, Rahul sir, Ruturaj ko kab karenge? Try. But I'm saying, first give the guys who are getting a chance.
Exactly.
What do you think?
You don't have to increase the pool. You don't have to make that pool bigger. And also in the pecking order, I think as far as T20 is concerned, Ruturaj had some good scores in the IPL. He was very good in the Vijay Hazare Trophy also. But in the pecking order, as of now, it is Ishan Kishan ahead of Ruturaj. Of course, Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, they are the two likely options as far as opening is concerned. But thereafter, I think it is Ishan Kishan. So, firstly, you'll have to see Ishan Kishan, and then you'll have to discard him, and then get in Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Okay, just going to take a few questions that are coming. Nadeem Arshad is watching us from Pakistan. He's saying love from Pakistan. We hope for 100 today. I'm not taking the batsman name. I'll tell you, Nadeem, why. It's not our decision, but Anish, who was a regular watcher, has said don't mention him because we guys jinx him. So I'm not taking the batsman's name. There was a question about any changes, or do you expect any changes? I'll go to this question, but before I answer about changes, at least one change definitely you will see. Deepak Chahar, who had hurt his hand, didn't finish his quota over. So I don't think in that 1 day gap it will be enough that he comes back. So most likely you will have Shardul Thakur replace him into the squad.
Not Avesh Khan.
Or not. I was just going to say maybe
or,
Avesh.
or Siraj, even
Yeah,
Siraj
but
is
the
there.
problem will be if you're
I
going to
know.
have at number 7, he was going to
I
bat
get
at
your
number
point.
7, Chahar. So at number 7, Chahar, if he goes out, if you get another bowler, no, then big Mazrat Indian batting.
get
would
your
be.
point.
So that may not happen.
So we have the team.
We have the team. Okay, let's quickly tell our viewers the team. What are the changes to the Indian
So,
team?
as you said, Nikhil, Deepak Chahar is in the playing 11.
Oh,
In fact,
That's good news.
In fact, it's the same 11. Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Venkatesh Iyer, Deepak Chahar, Harshal Patel, Ravi Bishnoi, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and Yuzi Chahal. So this is the Indian 11 that is going to play the second T20 international against West Indies. West Indies also we are expecting not also, but we are expecting one change in that West Indian lineup. Sorry. So West Indies, they've won the toss and they have elected to field first. Of course, we know it was an obvious it was an expected decision as far as winning the toss and electing to field first, because we know the dew also comes into play in the second half of the match, and we were just mentioning that so Jason Holder, who did not play the last game
He did not play because
after that blow on his chest.
Yes.
So West Indies, their 11 would be Kyle Mayers, Brendan King, Nicholas Pooran, Roman Powell, Kyron Pollard, Roston Chase, Fabian Allen.
Yeah.
Where is Jason Holder?
No, so you have to see the ticks here, na?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Look at that. So Jason Holder is playing. The one who's gone
Fabian
out
Allen.
is Fabian Allen. I was actually expecting
Akil Hussain.
Akil Hussain to go out, but they've gone with that. Nikhil sir, when will KL come back? I don't know. I doubt he'll be available for Sri Lanka T20Is also. Looks tough because when you have a hamstring injury, that means that it does take time. So I don't know if KL is going to be back that fast. I'm just trying to, Rahul, if you're just here, just updating our title so that people
sure.
know. And if you can just tell them.
So all right. So India, they are going to bat first today, and West Indies, they've won the toss. I think it should be a good challenge for the Indian team also, because we've been saying that this West Indian team is at least is no match for the Indians. At least that was the case in the ODIs. But we know what this West Indian team can do in the T20 internationals. And sorry, India. Yeah, I know. India's. The Indian team is unchanged. A lot of people were thinking that maybe Deepak Chahar, after he was struck on his wrist in the last game, maybe he would be unavailable. But such is the case that thankfully that he's fit now. So I'm going to take a few questions before I'm joined again by Nikhil. Nikhil Tiwari, what do you think where Rishabh should bat? Depending on the situation, who gets out before him? Because last game we saw Rishabh came into bat before Surya Kumar Yadav, and that perhaps was because of they wanted to persist and maintain that left-right combination. And otherwise, I still feel that Surya Kumar Yadav. Surya Kumar Yadav, in fact, can adapt to any sort of situation, be it 4, be it 5, and so is the case with Rishabh Pant. He was considered to be a finisher, but we'll see where he comes into bat. That would also depend on who gets out and who is at the crease at that moment.
Hungrekar controversy, what do you think? So many questions. Rahul Chaturvedi, and I was saying earlier as well.
What is the
Controversy is
what
regards to his age.
age?
Yes, and they are investigating. They think that he maybe someone has within Mumbai Cricket has filed a complaint saying just take a look at his age and he may be overaged. I don't know. See, we cannot at the moment say what the actual facts of the case are, and I think now that investigation will happen, we'll get to know. But I will say one thing. I'm not surprised. Are you surprised with the
No.
under 19 team? There are age fraud
But
cases.
Nikhil, obviously, we cannot, with absolute surety, we cannot say that.
In this case, we cannot.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
that whatever happens, of course, as you said, that investigation they are investigating over his age. But when he was picked for the India under 19, and having spoken to a few people, there was always a doubt. But that was just a doubt.
Yeah.
Over his age, whether he was under 19 at the moment, at that moment when he played for India in the under 19 World Cup, or the matches and series that preceding the under 19 World Cup. That also happened with Manjot Kalra, if you would remember.
Yes,
He
yes.
scored that 100 with that team that won the under 19 2018, if I'm not wrong.
The
Prithvi Shaw.
Prithvi Shaw team, correct.
Prithvi Shaw team, and thereafter, of course, he was from Delhi, and it also does hit the confidence of a player also. And Manjot Kalra, now we don't see him much.
Okay, so just to let you know, if you're joining us right now, that West Indies has this time won the toss, and now they have put India into bat. That means West Indies will be chasing. Why that is a big advantage is because we've seen the pitch tends to play a bit slow in the beginning, and then it quickens up because of the dew, and then it's easy to bat. And they will definitely be due in Calcutta during the winter season. I know it doesn't get very cold, but dew does come in, so expect dew to be there. What that does is there's a bit of an advantage that your spin bowlers in that sense a disadvantage, sorry, your spin bowlers will be bowling in the second innings, so we'll have to see if the two wrist spinners how they adjust to dew this time. They did very well in that previous match. Also, I think the India has not made any changes, and remember, Rahul, I was saying last time I felt India were a batsman short while chasing. If they had lost one more wicket with 30-40 runs, it could have been tough, because you can't expect Deepak Chahar, to finish every game. They will be, some occasions where he will, some occasions he won't, and most occasions he won't. This time, because they're batting first, what would be their approach? I don't know. If I was the Indian team, I would think I'm a batsman less, so let's be a bit careful. But if I'm a bit careful, if the total is not big, can West Indies chase it because of good conditions? I don't know. It's not.
And I would like to see the approach of Ishan Kishan. To be very honest, he struggled. He did score those 30 or 35 odd runs, but he was struggling. Good on his part that he didn't, throw it away. He was struggling, but still ensured that whatever deliveries he could play, he played and scored those 35 odd runs. Now, the situation is that India will have to bat first. And what we saw in the last game, the pitch, as you also mentioned, that it tends to be a little on the slower side. On the slower side while batting first. So that's going to test Ishan Kishan also.
It is. So, when we are talking about him struggling, and this time it will be even more of a struggle because you're batting first, so even slower pitch. Rohit Sharma spoke about that Ishan Kishan struggle. He said that we have seen it even in the IPL, and because they play for the same team, Rohit said that I have had a word with Ishan Kishan in the IPL that when it comes to very good conditions to bat and the ball is coming onto the bat, then he's very aggressive and he gets a lot of runs. When the conditions are a bit slow and वो जिसको कहते हैं बॉल फंस के आता है, that sort of a situation, then he struggles, and he did struggle in the IPL when playing in Chennai. So that was a sort of a issue that Ishan Kishan has had for some time. But it's good that the captain understands it, and the captain has told him that you need to work on that. So yeah, that should be an occasion, and for us to look whether he can.
And perhaps despite those deficiencies that Rohit himself pointed out, because we also noticed that when Ishan Kishan was batting in the middle order for Mumbai Indians, and when the matches or the Mumbai games at least were happening in Chennai, Ishan Kishan was struggling. So despite those deficiencies, if the captain is backing him, I'm sure Ishan Kishan must have had received some good advice from the captain, from the coach, and let's see what he can. I honestly feel today he's not going to just see it around for a while. I think today he is going to follow the approach that Rohit. The way Rohit scored his runs in the last game, I think that is how Ishan Kishan is going to bat today.
Okay, let's just take a few questions. I missed here. Okay, Satvik, who watches us very regularly, says, why Bishnoi and Chahal together? My only reply to that would be, why not? I think if they did a great job in the previous game, why not? And I think the opposition also makes a big difference. Against the West Indies, I don't mind having two leg spinners. And the other thing is that both are very different leg spinners also. So why not?
Yes, on paper they will have leg spinner written against their name, but they are actually very different. If you compare one with the other, Yuzi Chahal tends to give a lot of flight to his deliveries, and Ravi Bishnoi, if you see, he relies more on his wrong ones. And it shouldn't matter, to be very honest. If you have the best, you should play the best combination, irrespective of whether you have an off spinner and a leg spinner. You would tend to have a lot of variety in your 11. It is if you have two good spinners, just play them.
Mohan V is saying Surya Kumar Bevan Yadav. He's given, or Surya Bevan Kumar Yadav. I know they're all comparing him with Michael Bevan, who was a great finisher. I do not agree with that comparison for two reasons. One, Michael Bevan had a very long career to have proven it again, and Surya Kumar in international cricket at least has a shorter career. But secondly, Michael Bevan wasn't a very aggressive player. He was a smart player.
Yes, street smart.
Yeah, but Surya Kumar is first
Yes.
ball he faces. It's a
and he can
four-
be very Surya Kumar Yadav can be very brutal.
Yes.
And Michael Bevan was somebody who would rely on those converting those ones into twos, twos into
Yeah.
threes. Of course, at that point in time, you had those big grounds. Now it is very you would rarely see a three in a one-day international.
Yeah.
But that is what Michael Bevan was. I think finished with an average of 58, 59.
Yeah, close to that in ODI cricket.
Yes, in ODIs. Unfortunately, he never could. He did play. I think he did play the test. He did play Test cricket, but that was one, dream that couldn't play consistently. That is what should regret, or Michael Bevan would regret today.
Mohan V says that the comparison he's making between Surya Kumar and Michael Bevan is because both of them are nonchalant. You know, they're very, in the sense, they don't show that doing a lot of hard work, but they end up doing a lot of hard work. I don't know whether that also is a fair comparison because Surya Kumar Yadav is nonchalant. I agree. He bats as if like, so what? No big deal. He'll come hit the first ball for 4 and he'll be like, no big deal. And that's what I love about him.
But that man still has a swag. Whatever you.
Surya Kumar, yes. I compared him to Viv Richards in terms of swag. I'm not saying as a batsman
Yes,
there
yes,
anyway. But why I said the swag? Because he comes, he'll hit the ball as if like, I do it for, day in and day out. In my sleep, I'm doing this. So I can do it. So I love his attitude.
I think everybody now is comparing Surya Kumar Yadav with Michael Bevan is just their ability to finish the games. That's it.
Yeah. But I found one thing very interesting. I don't know if you saw Surya Kumar Yadav's interview after that first T20 ad. He said he got a lot of confidence from Venkatesh Iyer. He said that, Venkatesh Iyer was also looking quite positive with the body language, this and that. So he was nice. And then I think he went and told Venkatesh Iyer कि तू ही जिताएगा match India को.
And he got
And he did.
24 of 13. To be very honest, Venkatesh Iyer did get a look into this Indian 11, and I always had my doubts. Of course, he's an all-rounder. You are considering and you're picking him in the Indian team because of his ability to bowl those fast Yorkers and bowl fast. That's it.
Yeah.
But I thought that you had picked a batsman on the basis of 9 IPL matches that he played in the UAE leg of last season. But I think this innings, the last innings, should do him a world of good.
Yeah.
220 for 3. Somebody
Yeah,
is
people
saying.
are saying predict the score. Jairaj is saying 220 for 3. I saw a few other totals. Vansh is asking predict the score for India. Himanshu, the player that you're asking a question about, we have promised that we will go through the entire show without taking his name. Till now, we've been successful. We're close to 18 minutes.
The only
we
time-
haven't taken his name. Isn't that so? India will make 220 for 3. I think he's talking about that player only.
Okay.
Resting for the series, but
No,
because,
no, yes, but that.
no, but we are not going to take his name. Let's do this challenge. We are not taking a very big Indian player's name today on the show because one of our regular watcher, Anish, said, please don't talk about him because you jinx him. So we are going to go through this entire show without taking his name. We'll address other question. Rakshit has said 189. We had score of 220, 210, 190. What do you think is going to be a total? See, how do you think the match is going?
I think the start will depend. It will depend on the kind of start that you get. Of course, Rohit Sharma and but 220 in 20 overs on this wicket. Of course, if the wicket behaves the way it played out in the last game, it's going to be difficult. Somebody is saying Abhijit is saying 176 for 6. That looks pretty close. To be very honest, I think that should be the score that eventually India might end up with, but you never know with this batting lineup. Rohit Sharma, then Ishan Kishan, then one more player, then Rishabh Pant or Surya Kumar Yadav.
So a lot of people were asking. So I'm just going to make my prediction before I go to that very important bit of news. I think India will get somewhere between 180 to 190. My gut feeling, as SS is saying 189 for 4, so I'm in line with what SS is saying, and I will not be surprised if West Indies chase the total today. I will not be surprised if they do.
Exactly.
They have the batting to do that. I know a lot of you are not aware of that batting, but trust me, they have a few specialist T20 players. It did not come out in the first T20 ad. This time they are chasing. It just needs one or two players to, fire big. I also hope that Karan Pollard is not batting at number
Exactly.
7.
I think they didn't get their batting order right in the last game. Kyron Pollard, either he's lost his confidence or he was well prepared that, now that when Yuzi Chahal was bowling, he didn't want to face Yuzi Chahal. But, you'll have to get your confidence back. If you allow a bowler to dictate terms to you, then there's no point being a leader. Anyways,
So, we were a lot of people were asking, you think the news by KSR is true about? So that was pertaining to the captaincy. So what is being reported in the media is that KL Rahul is not going to be available for that first Test match in.
KL Rahul, I thought
Yeah.
the
So-
other player you're talking about.
No, so KL may not be
For the first?
first Test match. In
No, what we know that
for
they're
Mohali.
Wow.
Mohali Test, he will not be available. In which case, I'm just giving the news. In which case, Rohit Sharma will be asked to lead. I'm just telling you the report. And going forward, if one-off test that is coming up in England, it may be that Virat may be asked to lead for that one-off test. These are the reports in the media that
Okay.
people are referring to. I think it's true. Not that I have heard of. For me, it's surprising. I think the natural choice for anyone would be Rohit Sharma as your test captain also. So this entire thing that he may KL is not available, so Rohit is going to captain that test match in Mohali, is what is being reported. I find that a bit strange. I think your first choice captain would be Rohit Sharma, and that he will take over. I don't know. Your thoughts?
To be very honest, you made a couple of points, and to be very honest, I think Rohit, irrespective of whether KL Rahul is available or not available, Rohit Sharma will lead the Indian team against Sri Lanka in that 2-test series. A. Then you're saying
One-off test.
KL Rahul will not play the one-off test.
No, not one-off. I said
Sorry,
the Mohali test.
first of the 2-test series.
Yeah.
First of the 2-test series, that is in Mohali. That is going to be Virat's 99th, sorry, 100th test match.
So, one second.
I'll
You
have
have
to take
taken
my-
the name.
I'll have
Divanshu
to take-
says you took the name. But the thing is, no.
I think I-
No, but we are taking the name in a different context.
Not for
Our
this
challenge
game.
was about this game to jinx. We are talking about
But
captaincy.
when I read
We're
out
talking
the
about
11,
captaincy.
I may have taken.
No, but
Anish,
again,
Anish's comment
Anish's was like, don't talk
much later
about,
than that.
Abhijit, thank you for your comment, and Nikhil also, thank you for your comment. But I'm saying,
Nikhil's are looking dashing in that.
so I
orange
just no,
jacket.
I didn't take the comment. I just said thank you in general. But I'm just saying in general, in that context we are not taking incoming and loading
Right.
type. We are not. So this is we are talking about captaincy.
Yeah.
Sorry, go back.
So
what you were
Rohit,
saying.
irrespective of whether KL is available or not, is going to lead India in that 2-test series. As far as that one-off test, that remaining, that one test is remaining that India has to play against New Zealand because, England, because India leading 2-1 in that series.
Yeah.
The Manchester test, of course, had to be suspended, but that bit of news, I don't know. I'm not aware of, and I haven't checked also, to be very honest. Secondly, I think one more player may pull out or may take some rest in the T20 series. One big player. And who's going to be that player?
No, if you have to take the name of that player in the context of a test series, then you can take it. Because we are saying not with regards to.
Because we've been talking about,
No, but that has now been reported by other website also, and I'm taking that Virat made rest for the
T20 series against Sri Lanka.
But this, if you go back and check Sports Today videos, we had reported it
Right.
much before.
I
that
think
might happen.
during and after the selection was made for the West Indies series, that was already reported. I remember
Yeah.
watching those videos. Of
Me and
course.
Vikrant were there.
Yes,
yeah,
I was
talking
not
about-
here
yeah.
at that point in time, but more or less, it seems it's going to happen that Virat Kohli might take rest from the T20 series, from that 3 T20 series against Sri Lanka. Then, of course, he comes back to play the Mohali Test, which would be his 100th Test match, a huge milestone, and I am not aware of that England one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I even found the other bit surprising that because KL is not available for Sri Lanka series, Rohit is going to captain. I find that very surprising. I think Rohit still remains the number one choice as Test captain. If he is not available, what happens? That is another thing. But KL not being available, does that affect Indian captaincy? I'm not.
So is
aware of that bit
KL
of
not
news.
available, or is he not fit?
He may not be fit now because of
So
the
then he's
hamstring.
he's not playing the T20 series also.
Correct, which we already said in the start of our video that T20 though highly unlikely, but there is also report
He's
may not
got
be
a
available
hamstring
for.
injury.
Yes,
KL
for somebody spoke about Virat's poster in PSL.
PSL.
Yeah, which is very interesting, and
You've seen that?
yeah, I saw that during a PSL game. Someone showed a Virat poster, and he was a Virat Kohli fan. It doesn't surprise me. I think Virat has got fans the world
Exactly.
over. The world over.
And in Pakistan, a lot of people.
Yeah, they love
Virat has lot of fans.
I'll give you a story. Sakleen Mushtaq, I had done an interview with him during Corona, and he was just talking about cricket. So he says, outside his house in Islamabad, now whenever he's going, he sees, gully cricket like it happens in India and Pakistan. Also, people are playing. He says, two jerseys. You will see kids wear the jerseys, not two jerseys. He says two jerseys are the most popular amongst kids in Pakistan playing gully cricket. Babar Azam,
Okay.
Babar Azam, Virat Kohli.
Okay.
He said they're either wearing Babar Azam or Virat Kohli, the kids on the street. So that's not a surprise.
I know a lot of people in Pakistan. In fact, a lot of journalists in Pakistan.
Yeah.
They are always talking, and whatever Virat does,
Yeah.
it makes news in Pakistan, whether he's scoring runs or even if he's not scoring runs. Anyways, let's come back to this match so that we can just
No, we
leave
have
that
given.
name
People
out.
are saying give score prediction, this and that. We have. We have given that.
Okay, let
have
me-
you told our viewers about your new car that you have booked? You haven't told. You
No,
keep
no.
talking about when I was booking.
No, I can't afford. I can't afford
No,
your,
but it has
the car that you bought.
But have you or not at least confirmed? Forget. I'm not getting into brands or.
Yeah, Alto 800.
You said I never asked you to say brand or just confirm whether you have booked or not. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Alto 800. You just have to give 500 booking amount of 500.
Mohan, we is saying you take chartered flight and you are saying you cannot afford.
I have
one
never.
car.
I have never been on a charter.
Mercedes Benz.
Mercedes Benz.
Friend Saransh is saying.
अपनी और मेरी दोनों की शक्ल देख के बोलो यार, Mercedes Benz.
No, but you can take Infinix phone. Acha. Mohan we is saying Infinix phone. No, he uses a top brand.
No.
Again, I will not take a brand's name till they sponsor us. So he's using the.
Okay. Come to Russia. People are calling you. In fact, inviting
You
you to
with
visit
your new car.
Russia.
Sir, come to Russia with your new car when you get it.
यार मतलब
यहाँ से drive करके there is a way also.
हाँ
Yeah, a lot of people do now when they do India to Europe, those long expeditions in car. You have to go via Russia and the old USSR. Those countries you have to cross. To
will
get
that
into
car last that long?
Do you know which is the number one selling car in the hills? Alto.
I know.
Because it does that job very
okay
well.
because if you go to in Himachal in Dharamshala,
Yeah.
and if you take that route to McLeodganj,
Yes.
the only car
That can fit in there.
that can actually pull off that terrain.
Yeah.
And I think it's a 45-degree road.
Yes.
And I thought that I was a very good driver. When I actually tested myself, I thought that these people are doing an incredible job. So I think there are two ways to reach McLeodganj.
Yes, one is the backside
Yes,
within the
yes,
houses.
that's-
I have driven through those
I
narrow
know.
houses.
No, I also managed to.
I took
But-
my truck through that road.
It's a very, very
Yes,
narrow lane.
Yes, through that road I took the truck. I didn't realize. I kept going. The map took me, and I was like, I'm stuck. There's like hardly anything. Even if a bike comes, you're stuck. But then I was halfway. I couldn't go down, and it's a 45-degree as you
Yes,
said.
yes.
So I just continued, and it went. The truck. But see that truck of mine. I'm not taking the brand name. It has good torque, at least. That is good. So it'll pull. But yeah, the space was an issue. But we took it.
And that too, and they all drive those manual cars.
Yeah, mine was also manual. My truck was manual.
Truck, imagine. Truck.
Yes.
But it's a very, very difficult terrain. In fact, I don't know. But then I
Altos
couldn't.
go.
I couldn't gather the courage to get it down.
Down.
there.
Acha, I never. After that, even I didn't come down.
Because I thought it's even more difficult
Yes.
to get it down.
Yes.
Anyways, there's a match to be played today. Of course, just to remind you that India are going to bat first. They are
Abhijit is
unchanged.
saying, you must visit your friend in Tokyo with your new car. Where will he take his new car to there?
Tokyo, we'll buy a new car in Tokyo.
Yes.
Japanese.
Okay, on that note, we're taking your leave. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you now mid innings. Bye bye. If you missed our chat, we spoke about lots of subjects, but that's behind. So you'll have to go back and not just about the match, various other subjects. See you.
See you.